I know they out here talking like I ain't the man, like I ain't gon' do every single thing they said I can, like I ain't been holding off the tape and giving them a chance, like I ain't afraid to switch the floor up like a change of plans. Change the plans of these rappers, readjust your whole summer. You ain't seen the projections, boy, you gon' be outnumbered. Can't afford not to win, losing ain't in the budget, and it's far from an option, that's why we never discuss it. We don't got that writing, that's just something we know. Ain't no light to the altitude, everything is a go. I ain't noticed your progress, what you don't understand is everybody sounding like a little boy to the man. You should know I'm always on my grind, always on my grind. Keep it 9 to 5, I be on my job all the time. Everything is mine, everything is mine. Understand me, if I said it then I mean it, I ain't lying. Understand me, you ain't get it, you should read between the lines. Understand me, no suggestions, clearly I've been doing fine. Understand me, couldn't see me if I opened up the blinds. Understand me, don't request a feature, I ain't got the time. Understand me, yeah I said it, yeah I said it. Don't come to me for help when your career is looking desperate, yeah I said it, yeah I said it. Should probably give me brain, cause she knows just where I'm headed, life is funny, ain't it funny, right? Told you don't disturb me when I'm trying to get this money right. And I'm supposed to
choose custom, individually created works of art specific to one person. This is the first of the kind in the Triangle. In 2013, we were contacted by Google congratulating us for achieving #1 status for tattoo shops in the Triangle and have maintained that. Only 3 of these are actual people that are affiliated. Myself, Damien Flowers, and Aaron White. Before you start, let me just find out. So, I want to be clear. Do you all intend to speak for 3 minutes on tattoo parlor denial? I prefer that we pick a representative if you're going to do that, or if maybe a couple of people. Some of these people are from charities, so speaking on to speak on behalf. But you want to all speak about the denial of tattoo? Yeah. I mean, I just don't want to overrun everybody else who's here for other public hearings. I want to be fair to everybody. So let's do this. If you can identify yourselves and you can have non-repetitive commentary, then that would be great. But if I start hearing the same things over and over again with the council's approval, I'll kind of ask you to wrap it up. Just to be fair to everybody. Does that sound fair? All right. So let me make sure I've got your name. Let's do this. For those of you who intend to speak or not yet, just go ahead and have a seat on the second row there, and we'll have you come up when your turn is up. Please state your name and your address, and feel free, and Ms. County Clerk will run a 3-minute timer for you. All right. My name is Matthew Myers. I live at 1200 East. I own Apex Tattoo Factory. I'm here today, ladies and gentlemen, to ask you to make a motion to amend the denial of a bigger location for Apex Tattoo Factory. Also to amend the UDO on the business section 4.3.584 on tattoo parlors and piercing parlors. The original ordinance, in which yourself, Mr. Olive, and Mr. Jensen were privy to voting on the day that it was classified adult use. The term adult use, I assume, was privy to the legal age of 18, in which the law says you must be to obtain tattoos in the state of North Carolina. However, the nature of piercings allows children signed by legal guardian to entertain, receive services from our preference of 7 and up. This makes our shop not just specifically adult use, but more family friendly. The purpose of this visit is to show, in the show of support, is to first know how this ordinance came to be in the first place. In 2010, 30 days after we did our official opening, an addition to an ordinance was made to fix the problem. And I say the word problem because originally the ordinance was crafted toward illustrious forms of business that may arise in the future. And so one would say that adding us to the existing ordinance was a way of keeping us out of Apex. After the News and Observer published our story, Mayor Weatherly at the time showed up at our place of establishment and told us that we had nothing to worry about, that we were grandfather claused in, and as long as we didn't shut down for more than 30 days, we would not be in violation of this. And as a new business, accepted the compromise. Since then, the goal has always been to offer the best form of permanent art, which is custom, individually created works of art specific to one person. This is the first of the kind in the Triangle. In 2013, we were contacted by Google congratulating us for achieving #1 status for tattoo shops in the Triangle, and have maintained that status since. It's not hard to go on Google, Yelp, Facebook, or any of the other ones, that out of 2 million plus people in the Triangle, they absolutely love us the most. We, however, aren't known for just great customer service. My goal was to give back to the community, and since that time have donated to many charities and individuals you see copied on the paper I have provided for you. The biggest reason that we're here today is because we have teamed up with a group called Art for Stars, which, since I don't have much time left, just to keep it short and skinny, is something that helps women that have recovered from breast cancer to cover up their stars. I only have 1 second, sorry. I have provided all of you with this full thing because I knew it was going to take longer to do that.
Thank you, Mr. Myers.
Thank you.
Also, David Lukepower, is that right?
My name is David Lukepower, and the address 1001 Lexington Farm Road. I'm not going to repeat what he said about how the ordinance says that the tattoo parlor is 18 and up, and is classified the same as other businesses that are 18 and up, because he pretty much covered all that. But I'm kind of in the same situation that he is, as he took over an independent business, and now he has gotten so successful with it, he needs more space. And I mean, that's just the American dream. I don't see any reason why he shouldn't be able to expand and provide his services to more people who enjoy his services, especially seeing as how they're the best tattoo parlor in the Triangle. And they're a very professional tattoo parlor. I know a lot of people misjudge tattoo places, whether or not you have tattoos and you're into that kind of thing. They're not dirty places. They're not places to keep your kids away from. This is a very happy place, very friendly place. Like you said, people of all ages come there. And personally, I just think he deserves a chance to spread their services to more people and continue to succeed in the way that they have, and provide for more charities and just keep the ball rolling. Leave it at that.
All right, thank you, Mr. Lukepower. Casey Carter.
Yes, sir. Casey Carter, 426 Cook Street. I'm a resident there. My house opens up into the parking lot of Apex Wings and Tattoo Parlor. So I've got front row seats, everything that goes on there. 5 years living there, never had a complaint come directed for the workers, people, what's the word? People who get tattooed at the tattoo parlor. Customers, patrons, that's the they do a lot of business. You know, I think they should be allowed to move within, I'm getting it right, still within that same shopping center, correct? So they should be able to move to any one building from there and expand their business. You'll see maybe on record there are some noise complaints for that parking lot. They have nothing to do with the tattoo parlor. Maybe some really?
Hey, you nailed it. Awesome.
Hey guys, my name is Tony Duperello. I live at 301 Bergen Avenue in Apex. So to not repeat what's been said, I'm actually one of the beneficiaries of their just abundance of support, both prayer support and financial support. I work for Pioneer Bible Translators, based out of Dallas, Texas, for about 3 years, and they were some of my most faithful supporters. I have another ministry that I'm currently involved with, which they also support me with. But I was thinking about it, and this is no. I know you guys are doing your job, you're doing great, and it's based on rules that are in existence, right? And those rules are made based on the theories of what's best at the time. And I think things have changed, and I think that's kind of what we're getting at. And I just feel like if just make a judgment based on what, honestly, I used to have a stereotype about tattoos before I started getting them. I think you'd see a different side. You know, I know there's other, I don't know who else is here, but I know there are other charities that you supported, including veterans. And I just can't say enough about the family. So I won't repeat everything. I'll just say that I'm in agreement about the motion to take a closer look, simply so that they can expand, they can grow their family, and then just continue doing good in the community. So I'm not a professional speaker, so this is from the heart. I just appreciate the chance, guys. And I just can't say nothing great things about this, guys. So thank you for your time.
All right, thank you, Mr. Dillon. Ms. Erin Myers, I didn't call your name since you had the same address. We typically have one per household representation. So, okay, just wanted to let you know that. So that was the end of the public forum list. But what was your name? Oh, I think you put it on this one. All right, I'll go ahead and transfer it over. Come on up.
My name is Katrina Ham, and I live at 600 Brickstone Drive. I've been here for, I think, 11 years now. I am the founder of Art from Scars, which Jack has referenced. We're a charity that's going to provide grants to breast cancer survivors like myself to get tattoos to cover their mastectomy and reconstruction scars. It would be very nice for Jack to have a larger place simply because women who are getting tattoos on their breasts require a bit more privacy. So to have that space would be wonderful, and I hope you honor their request of same. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ms. Ham. Is there anybody I missed? Mr. Flowers, represented? All right, that's the name I see here. Okay, go ahead.
Hey guys, I'm Daniel Flowers. I live in Cary, but all address my address is 164 Barton Club Circle. I'm here to just start. I'm Daniel Flowers, and I've been with Apex Tattoo Factory coming up on 2 years now. When I first approached Matthew Myers, I was starting out as a tattoo artist, but I've been an artist my whole life. Art is not only my passion, but it's my life. I needed a shop where I could complete my tattoo training, and Apex Tattoo Factory was the perfect fit. I'm an Army veteran of Operation Enduring Freedom. I did serve 6 years in the Army with the National Guard, and I spent 400 days in camp there during Kuwait. My GI Bill could not cover my apprenticeship, so Matthew gave me a free apprenticeship and spent countless hours training me and encouraging me as a tattoo artist. During this period, I was unemployed elsewhere, and Matt gave me a daily portion of his profits so that I could survive long enough to start making my own income. My skills have grown significantly within the 2 years I've been with Apex Tattoo. I'm well on my way to become a world-class portrait tattoo artist, something that makes many tattoo artists 20 years plus to accomplish. World-class artists travel upon invitation around the world to spread the name Apex Tattoo Factory, both verbally and in art. But we aren't just co-workers existing together as a job, but we are a family. We all work hard together to bring the tribe with the best custom art, custom service, and experience that we can give. It's a shame that 10 people decided that we were anything other than hard-working businessmen and women, and I also formally ask you to amend the ordinance and adult use for tattoo shops, or at least tonight, amend this approved to change the location that cannot be found in grandfather stipulation that says we are still to our location. The spot that is still in the same plaza, right away from Apex, Wings. Thank you for your time.
All right, thank you, Mr. Flowers. All right, this time I'll close the public forum. Before we move away from that, let me just ask, so we've got a planning committee. Do either of you have any desire to maybe consider this any planning committee? Okay, without objection, I think that's what we'd like to do is let the planning committee.
What's up, guys? Oh man, that's really loud. I hope it wasn't really loud for you. So that's the skinny. Oh, I've still got my daughter's name on my forehead. What is up with that? Let's see. So that was it, guys. Good morning. What in the world? I have text on my forehead. There we go. Maybe that's it. There we go. What's up, guys? Good morning. Happy Monday, if it's happy for you, I guess. That was the Apex City Council meeting. I'm sorry that drew out some, but you know, it's somewhat necessary. Just to kind of backtail a little bit, I know it's been a couple minutes here. That intro video was brought to you by Chris Bizzano. You can find him on Instagram at BXZZANO. And let me pull up our chat here and see who's with us this morning. Yeah, if you guys are catching us after hours, and you have some questions about what you just saw, you can always go to apexarttalk@gmail.com and yeah, send us what you're feeling. And I think that we aren't even on our live page, so I just changed a bunch of stuff. Okay, so today's running as yesterday's theme. I'll change it here in a second. Let me go to the live chat. Sorry about that. It's definitely a Monday. So yeah, we went up there with the intention to be heard, and we were heard. Let's see, live streaming. There we go. And yeah, they knew we were coming, so they had a little bit of time to plan, which is never good. We're gonna just talk today about what happened, what exactly they're doing to us, and I'm gonna read you a couple of things from the from the city ordinance that lets you know what exactly they've done here in Apex with tattoo shops. Let me get my live chat going here. Yeah, there you are. And so basically, if you go over to the right hand side and scroll down, you will see something that says live chat, where you will pop up right here next to me, and we will discuss. I'll just move it over here out of the way. And Chase is here with us this morning. We did my children were in, so we did a special episode last week, and just trying to help them be kids, be smarter kids, and have as many experiences as possible. Maybe even encourage them a little bit to want to do it themselves and do their own little show. If you're catching us after hours and you can't watch, you can always go to SoundCloud at ATF Art and Entertainment Talk, and it's also on there as well. So here's the deal. When we first got here, not to be repetitive because I think I've already told you this part before, is that 30 days after our opening, they basically tried to shut us down by writing what they call a UDO, and it's a unified some kind of order. Basically it's a law, but it's not a law because it's only in the town of Apex. So once you leave Apex, the law no longer applies. It's called an ordinance. And instead of doing their research, they were like, hey, why don't we just throw it over here into the adult use category? Now, to give you an idea of what it did, as soon as they put us into that ordinance, all this is public information, and if basically they just try and put so much information that you have a hard time finding it. So if you don't know where to look, you're gonna have a hard time, and I think it's deliberately mastered that way. Basically on page 57 of the UDO, on it's 4.4.5 commercial uses, they have a category called adult use. Now anything below this has to fall into this category. And so what they have is one, an adult establishment. An adult establishment shall comply with the following standards. No adult establishment shall be located within 1,000 feet of a church, public or private school, daycare center, residential district, residential development, public park, or an establishment with an on-premise North Carolina ABC license. So if you just think about what I just said, you're not allowed to live near people, okay? Or your shop can't be around people that are living in their house. Can't be around any school, daycare, church. I mean, This basically, if you think about it and you're looking at a map of what locations you could be at that actually exist, the option really is to be outside of Apex. And that's, if you heard me, that's what I was said. It was designed to keep us out of Apex. Now, no other, let's see, there shall be no more than one adult establishment on the same lot or property in the same building structure or portion thereof. C says no other principal or accessory use may occupy the same building structure, property, or portion thereof as an adult establishment, and except for freestanding and facade-mounted signs permitted pursuant to Section 8.7 signs, no other advertisements, displays, or signs or other promotional materials shall be visible from public to the public from sidewalks, walkways, or vehicular use areas, which means no signs. Nothing that says tattoo. Okay? And then you go down to part 4, where they have lumped us in. Tattoo parlor and body piercing. Tattoo parlors shall comply with the following standards. No tattoo parlor shall be located within 1,000 feet of another tattoo parlor, adult use, pawn shop, or an establishment with an on-premise ABC license, and except for freestanding, and basically it just goes over to say the same thing, that we're not allowed to have any sign. So you're just not going to know we're there. And the other thing, and they may have changed it or updated it, but it used to say that we were only allowed to have a 2-letter logo for our name. So back when we opened, it was Arcane Art, owned by a guy named John. It would have been AA, and you would have had to have blacked out the windows or fogged out the windows so that nobody could see in, because if they could see in, you were against the ordinance. So that's where we went in, and the idea was that there's 2 ways that you can approach politics. Okay, when I went in to try to approach it the right way, they sent me home with the paper. The paper said that has a list of about 9 things that you must get done, and you think, oh, 9 things, oh, that's cool. One of them was you must go to every establishment within 300 feet of the projected business site and ask for permission. I don't know if you guys know that we want to be up front, basically, and that 300 feet from there is the Apex Middle School. And so we would have had to go and ask, Apex Middle School, which is basically, I think, Wake County, permission to put the tattoo shop there, which I'm pretty sure they wouldn't have went for. You would have had to get the landlord to sign off, which he did. He has approved our location, and our new location in Apex City denied it. Dang, sorry, I got something in my throat. Need to drink my matcha. So yeah, so there's, like I said, there's 2 ways that you can approach politics. One is to jump through the fucking Cirque du Soleil size hoops that they need you to, and then pay the fees, which is, it's always about money. It's to some extent. Or you can do what we did, and that is create a PR problem, which is public relations problem, so that they have to address it for fear of re-election. And basically, we've done so much good. There's no way anybody can say otherwise. We're very hardworking. There's a lot of people pissed off at us right now because we are doing everything that we can to maintain the best tattoo shop status in the Raleigh Triangle. And I know we're not the best, because I know the guys up at Hillsboro Tattoo, and I know that they are all excellent people and that we ride right along with them. Basically, there's no hate there. You know what I mean? We love them, they love us, and we all set a different type of standard than the Raleigh Triangle is used to, and that is, custom art. And that's the start. And then friendly faces, you got people that work there and their family. That's how we are here. Just like D-Man said, we're a family. We're not just coexisting together in an environment where we're forced to work. We choose to be with one another, and we all consider each other to be family. And so so what I did was I called up all the charities. I called the news, ABC 11 and WREL. The only people we didn't call, which we should have, was the News and Observer, who will actually be here today. They're going to do a piece on the art from scars. We are going to cover up. We've donated all of our time, or my time. This is my day off today, to being the first recipient is the person who started Art from Scars, who is a breast cancer survivor herself. And so we will be in the newspaper. I can't tell you when. It's either going to be tomorrow or a day or two from now, but either way it's gonna be out there. So definitely make sure you're paying attention to the News and Observer, because usually other places pick it up if it's good news, and it's not terrible news. Somebody didn't shoot up some other kids and they're talking about guns. Hopefully they'll take a second to understand that we need more space. And we need more space so that you guys will stop being pissed off at me because we only have 2 artists. It's just a matter of that this place isn't suitable for us anymore. We get a box in the mail or we get a shipment, and it's hard to move around in here. And what the new place would allow us to do is have 4 artists and another piercer. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go, and if we actually get this place, I'm not going to do it until it's almost done, but I'm going to go and I'm going to recruit. And if anybody knows me personally, they know that I'm picky as fuck. Nobody is going to step into this establishment that has a questionable record. They're all going to be, solid artists, and they're all going to differ. So we're going to have 4 different styles of art here, and we're going to continue to grow so that when you walk in, you can actually get in without having to wait a month. The other thing it's going to allow us to do is I'm a big fat teddy bear. When it comes down to it, deep in my heart, I just want to help people. And so what that entails is me donating a day of 1 day each week to helping these women cover up these scars. If you could imagine what it is like to go to the hospital one day and the doctor sits down and tells you, hey, you have breast cancer, and as the process moves on, you go and you start getting chemo done. Chemo sucks balls. I mean, it is profusely terrible. And then in the end, the chemo does so much damage to your chest that you lose your hair. Now you're bald. Then they take it one step further and you lose your breasts. And for some women, they get breast implants, but they're missing their nipples, and they have giant scars that go straight across the nipple line. So it goes from the armpit across the nipple that no longer exists there, to the sternum, and then back over to the other armpit in the same way. And a lot of them have scars underneath as well, because if they get breast augmentation, they got to take that skin from somewhere else. So they basically make a skin graft, and now you have a scar somewhere else because you had a skin graft done on another place. And to do a skin graft, I believe what they do is they insert a balloon and stretch the skin until the skin grows out enough that they can cut off a piece and then sew the part that they took it from back together. So these women have endured hell. Some of them don't even have breasts anymore. They just, they didn't do the augmentation, and now all they have is scars. And when I was approached by Patrina from Art from Scars, I was just like, dude, this is all me. This is what I want to do. I've never not wanted to help people, and now I can use my skill set of 24 years to find a way, because covering scars is not easy. It isn't. It's very tough. In fact, I'm pretty sure that Wake County frowns on people that tattoo over the top of scars. The skin is different. The capillaries heal different. Some people, when you tattoo over a scar, it hurts immensely. Some don't feel nothing. So, I mean, there's a whole lot of room there. And then on top of that, you think about it, an underboob tattoo is excruciatingly painful. So we have damaged skin, we have scars, and we have the sternum, underboob tattoo. These things are a mix of the hottest freaking chili you've ever had in your life, and you're being forced to eat it. It's like, this is closure for them, and I want to do it. And so there is no other option than to go out there and make them hear me. And I've never accepted no for an answer, and I never will. Not on things that are unjust. And it is unjust that we've been stacked into this category. So when we went up there, basically I just was like, you know what? We get 7-year-olds in here, guys, weekly. More and more parents, big shout out to the women of Holly Springs, Fuquay, Cary, Apex. You women are incredible at, letting people know where the standard is. And I thank you for your support and just always recommending us, because what you've done is you've shut Claire's down. I heard Claire's is going bankrupt. And yeah, it's tattoo shops are inspected. You know what? There is no regulations on piercing. Okay, so the only place that has somebody from Wake County that's from the health department that could even remotely check to see if something's going wrong is in a tattoo shop. So let that be public information when next time you want to go to Claire's or some mall kiosk where somebody watched a 2-hour video on piercing and then jams a freaking dull thumbtack through your ear. So if you're just joining us, today is just mostly discussion about what's to come. And so if you go over to the right hand side and scroll down to the bottom, you'll see live chat, and you can click that, and then I'll put you onto this little box right here, and everybody can see your stuff, and I'll answer you. If you're catching us after hours, you can always go to apexarttalk@gmail.com. And as always, we're a tattoo shop that is fighting for existence. But if you have any tattoo questions, now is not the time for that. You can always go to apextattoofactory.com, and they will. And most of your questions can be answered there. But if not, there's links to where you can ask those questions. And if you can't watch and you can just listen, you can always catch us after the live performance here on SoundCloud at ATF Art and Entertainment Talk. Well, let me know what you guys think. I know I see Chases there. I see people watching, but they're just not talking. They're creepers. Quit creeping. Talk to me. Yeah. And so anyways, back onto the PR thing about creating a PR thing, you have to have a really strong case, okay? You can't be a shithead and do fucked up business and walk up there and expect the city to even indulge you. And that's the thing, is they knew we were coming. They were able to prepare for us to be there and basically to shoot us down right before the meeting, okay? So whenever an ordinance is put into place, as that discussion that you saw at the beginning was, there's somebody in the background typing on keys. and all they're doing is listening to everything that's being said and jotting it down. Those are called minutes. So anytime something is discussed, they go into the minutes and they're public record. You should be able to contact anybody from the planning departments and say, you can make it hard for them or you can make it easy. If you know the date in which the minutes were discussed, you tell them, hey, I'm formally requesting the minutes for this day. Then somebody, even if you don't, and all you know is the topic that was discussed, you can go up and email them. You have to email them. They need it in writing, because what it is it's public information. If you call up there, they're going to tell you, well, I need you to ask me via email, because it has to be written down, a documented, public record note that said you formally requested it. And you say, hey, I need all the minutes in Apex Records on lipstick. They have to go through and find all the ordinance and minutes or the minutes on on lipstick. Sorry, man, my freaking voice is scratchy as hell this morning. And so that's what we did. And I had an idea of when it was discussed, but I didn't know. So what I did was I just did a healthy guess, and I said, hey, I got a city council meeting tonight. I need the minutes from the month or the specific date that I thought they had discussed that day when they originally lumped us in the adult use category. And it happened to be the wrong day, but what I got was what I needed. And that is that Mark Jensen, who is now the city council head of planning, and our mayor, Lance Olive, were both present the day that they lumped us into adult use category. Now, they had different positions then, and I'm sure, we're coming up on our 8th year, so I know that it's probably hard to remember, but it just felt like I was getting the side eye from Mr. Olive. Which I have to kind of recant a little bit, is that Lance Olive is a really nice guy. And it just seemed like I was like, man, I need more than 3 minutes to speak, because that was the first time I'd ever gone up there. I mean, they didn't even let Miss Aaron speak, which I think is utter bullshit, because most of the people that work here, I donated my time to. Like, they didn't pay for their apprenticeships. And they came in and they worked, and it was given to them, and that means something when you yourself are dedicating your time and your effort into, people. And that's all I really meant to do, was to show them that, I invest in people. And so anyways, what was I talking about? Oh, so by just knowing that they were present, I was able to kind of out them a little bit and say, listen, this may have been 7 years ago, but this isn't a completely different establishment. And what that did was it caught the attention of the new city council members. And so I've been approached by the mayor pro quo, which is basically the vice mayor. I'm not sure what part she has on the city council as far as her position. But I had another lady comment on our status on Apex Tattoo Factory Facebook page, and was just like, thank you for what you do. That was one of the city council members. And then, kind of getting mixed feelings leaving that day. We didn't know if it had made an impact. Like, yeah, I only trust a politician as far as I can throw them. And so I was just steadily determined, like, we're not going to take what they just said as, how it's going to be. And so anyways, I went home, had a drink. I was like, we all kind of just discussed how it went and what we thought, that was D-Man's first time ever talking in front of a crowd or a council. And you know what? The more you think about it, it's just like getting your first tattoo. You get more and more nervous, and you just start messing up, and you're just like, shit. And so there's the best thing I can ever tell you for that is just count to your head in 3 and go. 3, 2, 1, go. You would blow your own fucking mind if the next time you were scared to do something, you did that. And it's so weird because when you say 3, 2, 1, go, you'll move. You'll start moving forward. It's inevitable. It's like, I don't think, at least it works for me, okay? Something about counting down, it just makes me move. You know what I mean? Even if I'm scared, even if I don't, it's 3, 2, 1, go. And I do it. And so basically what we did was we walked up there. We had the closest resident. We had our neighboring business. We had a charity that was basically Christian related or biblically related that we've been donating to. And then we had Art from Scars there. And and then we had me, of course, who's obviously scary looking, especially in a suit and tie. And we just threw it at him. And we said, hey, deny this. And believe it or not, that is really hard to do, because if you go up on Apex City Council has a YouTube channel, you can go and see that video from a different angle and much better audio, by the way, if you had any problems hearing it. And that's that's the way it'll be. And they have to immediately either address it, or if they didn't address it, everybody would have been like, I mean, we got messages from people that were just sitting there that had no idea who we were or why we were there. Just send us a message. I really felt your speeches today, guys. Good job. I hope you know that we support you. Cool. Thanks. Okay. So Chase asked the number 1 question. So, has the planning committee moved anything forward? So here's the deal. We got a call the next day from the Mr. Jenkins, the lead planner, the head planner on the city council, and he was motivated, and he didn't just want to just approve our new location. He wanted to change the law, from what I understood. So April 10th, it's not official. They haven't sent us the email, but the general planning date, as far as the assistant Sarah said, was going to be on the 10th. Now, this is not a public meeting. This is a private meeting with the planning committee only, and they've asked us to be there in case they have questions. Here's the other thing. Later that day, I get an email from a lady named Sarah up at the planning committee, and there is this laundry list of ordinances, of city zoning maps, and oh God, it was like terrible. If I could show you how long this email was. And she's just like, we got to change these 14 things. All these things got to change. There's 2 ways we could go about it, and this way, the landlord's gonna have to ask for permission to rezone the building. And I'm just like, I'm seeing it, but I'm not seeing what I want to see. And so I messaged her back. I said, all these things that you're telling us need to be changed or voted on or miraculously come true are all based on us still staying in the adult use category. I said it's a 3-part process, okay? Amend the tattoo and piercing parlors out of adult use. Put them into their own category, okay? We will be there with 24 years of experience that will make Apex look good, okay? It'll show that you tolerate tattoo shops, but that you raise the bar. So if they were to allow us, we would be able to go in there and say, hey, okay, let's put this in the ordinances. Let's make sure that everybody at a tattoo shop in Apex has a certification in first aid, bloodborne pathogens, and CPR for healthcare workers. Bam. You just shock the whole community, because now your Apex tattoo shops have a higher health standard and quality of tattoo artists because they're familiar with infection control. What happens if somebody's heart stops beating? I mean, come on. It's and then of course first aid, which obviously, you know what I mean? First aid for healthcare workers is one step above what they would teach if you went to go get certified for first aid. Is that there's a little bit more when it comes to bandaging somebody up and treating an infection or a wound in a hospital style scenario, which kind of, if we hold ourselves to that standard, you know what I mean, we'll have impeccable record with, you know, people leaving out of here with infections or anything like that, which we don't have a problem for, but we can't speak for everybody that might want to put a tattoo shop in Apex. And then of course, you know, they would also have to vote on allowing tattoo shops in basically old Apex, which is what do they call that shit? I'm not sure what it's called. It's like the old downtown. It's like the way the town used to be before it started growing back in the 60s. It's like old downtown Apex or whatever. They have their own zone that says, "Hey, this is part of the old community." And so right now they have an ordinance that says that we're not allowed there. And so basically they would just have to vote on adding us into them. And I know their heads are spinning off of their neck right now, trying their very hardest to put a cap on us. And I don't think that they know that we're willing to work with them. We're willing to go in there and say, listen, we also feel the same way. We don't care. We will, you help us address the concerns of the people, and we'll follow suit. We'll be the first ones to show you, first of all, it can be done. And second of all, that we don't mind complying to that, because there's nothing wrong with having a higher standard of shop. They're gonna set the bar high, you know what I mean? And that's good, because most of the tattoo shops here are shitty, and they have shitty attitudes. And we need that type of attitude in art. Like the whole gang style biker fucking gang war shit needs to go. I mean, anywhere else, for the most part, that I've ever been in the world, that I've met another tattoo artist, we were instantly best friends. Instantly. You go to a shop here and be like, hey, I want to learn how to be a tattoo artist. Fuck that. Fuck that. I'm not losing my... There are 2 million plus people in the Triangle, and 15 shops, maybe. There is plenty of people to go around, okay? Nobody's going to suffer. The only people that are going to suffer is if you suck. And therefore, you should suffer until you perfect your craft. It's something all of us had to go through. You know, I was an artist before I was a tattoo artist, so I picked it up relatively quickly. But, you know, you got to have that eye. You got to have that ability. So I hope that answered your question. And then today, this afternoon, you know, to keep the heat going, we made sure that us attending the city council meeting was going to coincide with the News and Observer. And so I'm going to tell the News and Observer what's going on and what we're trying to do, so in hopes not to steal any thunder from Art from Scars, but just to say, hey, we want to be partners, because Art from Scars is only footing half the bill. And so once a week, we will be donating our services to helping them, to helping these women. And so this is coming out of my own pocket. And these women that are getting these tattoos, ladies and gentlemen, they cannot afford it. This is a donation. This is somebody saying, hey, you already put up with enough. You shouldn't have to pay for it. Let our generosity donate it for you. And I'm telling you, Patrina's got it coming today. I hope she's ready for this. I know she's probably nervous as all fucking get out, but this is gonna be one for the books. And I hope that she shares it, and if she does, I'll share it as well. It's gonna be pretty much consent completely from her, And if she'll allow it, then we'll share it, and you'll see exactly what I want to take my craft and do, because this is closure. You can't live in a burnt down house. Okay? You the minute that you see a piece of the burnt house, it's going to bring back those memories. And so what we want to do is we want to cover the last pieces of burnt wood for these ladies, and add closure to their life for something that was fucking horrific, scary. They could have died. I'm sure that during chemo they felt like death. And then, I also handed them another piece of paper that said what Apex Tattoo Factory has planned in the future. Like, I have aspirations to be the first tattoo shop school, or the first tattoo school for veterans, so that they can use their GI Bill to learn how to be tattoo artists, because nothing exists for them in that category. Nothing in the art category exists, I don't believe. And what that would do is that would allow them to spend their GI Bill, and what I would do with that money is not only teach them, but I would make sure that they had all the equipment when they left to be certified tattoo artists. And with 24 years experience, I would enlist other prominent tattoo artists to come in for a day and teach them, and along with myself, and just let them watch over, And it can't do that if that's adult use only, And I'm telling you, lots of soldiers come back and they need that avenue. That avenue fits them. They're not ready for a regular 9 to 5 and go to college and be stockbrokers or whatever the fuck you want to call it. It's just not that way for them. And as you heard Damien say, he tried to get his GI Bill to pay for his apprenticeship here, and they denied it. And so we're going to wind this down today, guys. I appreciate you sticking around, and as always, apexarttalk@gmail.com. If you have any more questions about the ordinance, we will continue to keep you updated. And I hope this was informative. I hope it was inspirational, that I practice what I preach. And I told you, if you want to change something, you got to change it locally. And you got to get off your ass, and you got to do the hard work, because I'm telling you, I went through a week of ordinances just to find a couple. And then, of course, support. Thank you, Chase. Chase was the guy that filmed the video, so Chase was there, and I want to formally thank everyone that showed up that night. It's support, because support matters, and you can swat the bee, but you can't swat the whole swarm. You go up there all by yourself with nobody to co-witness, I guess you can say, your event, then you might get swatted. They're politicians. If they can get away with not helping you, they will. You need to take that option off the table. And so, as always, shout out to Murky's Apparel, and Chris Bizzano. You guys rock. They will also be a part of this transformation if we can ever get to the new location. We will be formally employing or hiring, I guess you could say, GroupX, GRUUPX.com. And what they're going to do is they're going to take over all the social media except for this radio station, and they're going to run with it. And then we'll show you the results after. So I'm going to leave you guys with a motivational speech, as always, because, people need motivation. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Sorry for being such a slug. I got fucking bags under my eyes. I got my tax information back yesterday. So, let's see. Here you go, guys. Have a great day.
There will be days where you will ask yourself, where is all this going? What is the purpose? What is my purpose? In high school, I thought I'd discover my life's purpose when I could answer that age-old question, what do you want to be when you grow up? Nope. In college, I thought I would discover it when I could answer, "What's your major?" Not quite. I thought that maybe I'd discover it when I found a good job. Then I thought I just needed to get a few promotions. That didn't work either. I kept convincing myself that it was just over the horizon, around the next corner. Nothing worked, and it was really tearing me apart. Part of me kept pushing ahead to the next achievement, and the other part kept asking, is this all there is?
I've often said that I wished people could realize all their dreams and wealth and fame, and so that they could see that it's not where you're going to find your sense of completion. I realized one night in LA that the purpose of my life had always been to free people from concern. I can tell you from experience, the effect you have on others is the most valuable currency there is.
When you work towards something greater than yourself, you find meaning, you find purpose. When you keep people at the center of what you do, it can have an enormous impact. All life is interrelated. We are all bound together into a single garment of destiny.
But under the sky, under the heaven, man, there is but one family. It just so happened, man, that people are different.
That's the only thing that's important, really. Letting each other know we're here. Reminding each other that we're part of a larger self.
Deep inside of you lives a hero who wants to do something great with your life, who wants to inspire other people, who wants to do creative work, who wants to change the world. Maybe you're so numbed out that you've forgotten who you truly are. The fact that you are alive today means there is a mighty call on your life to do something with the rest of your life.
When you're convinced that your cause is right, have the courage to take a stand. Use your minds and hands and your hearts to build something bigger than yourselves. If you see a problem or an injustice, recognize that no one will fix it but you.
A change in the world that seems so clear that you are sure someone else is going to do it. But they're not. You will. Ideas don't come out fully formed. They only become clear as you work on them. You just have to get started.
How will you serve the world? What do they need that your talent can provide? That's all you have to figure out.
I want to do good. I want the world to be better because I was here. I want my life, I want my work, I want it to mean something. If you are not making someone else's life better, then you're wasting your time.
When you wake up in the morning and your life means something to somebody other than you, that you have a purpose. If you don't go do the things that you're going to do, people's lives will suffer. To live in service, not to you, but to live in service to humanity, to live in service to your family, to your church, to your city, to your country, to the world, that is the purest form of joy.
Tear down that mirror that makes you always look at yourself, and you will be able to look beyond that mirror, and you will see the millions of people that need your help. Reaching out and helping people will bring you more satisfaction than anything else you've ever done.
Measure your impact on humanity not in likes, but in the lives you touch. Not in popularity, but in the people you serve. There is so much out there conspiring to make you cynical. People will try to convince you that you should keep your empathy out of your career. Don't let that noise knock you off course. I found that my life got bigger when I stopped caring what other people thought about me. Yours will too. Stay focused on what really matters.
When I look around, I always learn something, and that is
to be always yourself and to express yourself, to have faith in yourself.
To express oneself honestly, not lying to oneself, and to express myself honestly. That, my friend, is very hard to do.
Everything you gain in life will rot and fall apart, and all that will be left of you is what was in your heart. Don't let anything stand in the way of the light that shines through this form. Risk being seen in all of your glory. You are ready and able to do beautiful things in this world. You will only ever have two choices, love or fear. Choose love, and don't ever let fear turn you against your playful heart.